Hello, I'm just doing a quick screen share video. There's a few people that have been having a problem making their stamps for the artwork jewellery and handprint jewellery. So I am trying to share my screen. I hope that it is sharing. We'll find out at the end of the video. But if you are having trouble making your stamps for the artwork and handprint jewellery, I just want to share my screen to kind of guide you to a few resources which I hope will help you. So in your Craft Academy account, where your e-courses are loaded, you'll see under the course materials section, all of the course specific files for the e-courses that you've purchased. You've got general files up here with your business startup manuals, marketing guides and things like that. But down in this section, you've got your course specific files relating to the e-courses that you've purchased. So if you have purchased the online artwork and handprint jewellery course, you'll see your resources down here. So the first resource that I want to direct you to is this one called UV Stamp Maker Instructions. So if you click on that, I would like you, if you are having trouble making your stamps, if you print this PDF off and follow these instructions to the letter. The reason for this is because when I originally filmed the artwork jewellery e-course, the Image Pack stamp maker was brand new, and I filmed it following Image Pack's timing guidelines. Over the years, I have revised those timings to get best results. So these are the exact timings that I use and the exact process. So make sure that you print this off and follow the exact process and the exact timings. If you are having a problem with your stamps, the most common problem is that somehow your artwork isn't black enough or it's letting light through. So depending on the size of sachet that you're using, so for instance, if you're creating your artwork on the larger sachet, which is the A7 one, then basically you need to place your negative in the recessed side of your clamp with it being reading side up. And then you would want to place your gel on top. But before we move on to that stage, if you are using a smaller A8 negative, you can see here that light would be showing around here, which would affect the result of your stamps. So it's really important that you use the little black template here that comes within the kit. If you lose it, you can create your own one by cutting out, using a piece of black card and sort of cutting it to size. But the purpose of this is to lay it over here so there's literally no white showing through, because if any light comes through, that's going to affect the result of your stamps basically. So that's the first thing that I need to say to you, is that make sure no light is coming through here, and make sure that you're using this little template if you're using the smaller sachets. So once you have laid your artwork in, reading side up, and you've used the little template, if you're using the smaller sachet, then you need to place your gel sachet on top, and you need to lay it with the writing that says Image Pack reading side up as well. That's quite important as well. So if you do that, place the clamp on top, the magnetic clamp on top, so it's securely shut, and then as shown on stage 6 here, just press it down in the middle to make sure that the gel is all level. Okay, so again, with the Image Pack on top, slide the clamp into the unit for 3 seconds and 3 seconds only, before then switching it over, flipping it over, and then putting it back into the UV light for 4 minutes, and you'll have the negative on top at this stage. So leave it in there for 4 minutes and no longer. Take it out, and then you want to move on to the stage of washing out your stamps with warm soapy water, and you need to do this really quickly. If you delay it, then your stamp will go solid, so do that really quickly. Use warm soapy water to wash it out, and so long as you've got no light coming through and you followed these instructions, you should have a really nice stamp looking like this at section 15. If you don't, then I want to guide you to some troublemaking troubleshooting instructions. So if you go back to the resources, and you'll see here, right here, UV Stamp Maker troubleshooting PDF. So if you click on that, and basically here's a document with common problems. So if you're finding that your stamp is solid, that means that your artwork is not black enough, and it's letting light through during the stamp making process. Or it means that your artwork is smaller than the image pack and light is getting around the edges. That's kind of going back to what I said about using that little template, so that no light's coming around the edge. You need to do that to kind of fill the outer edge of your stamp. Okay, or it might be that you basically position the artwork upside down at the bottom of the clamp. So again, you need to go back to that little PDF that I just showed you and make sure that you're following it to the letter. What I would do if you are having a problem with your stamps, the first thing that I would do is I would use the artwork that Image Pack provide in their kit. They provide some artwork. So what I would do is use the PDF that I just showed you here with Image Pack's artwork. Follow those instructions to the letter with Image Pack's own artwork. If your stamp comes out perfect, then you know that there's nothing wrong with the process that you're following. You'll know that if you then go on to create a stamp with your own artwork, the problem's with your artwork and not the process that you're using. So that's the first thing that I do. Go back, use Image Pack's own artwork, their own negatives that they provide in the kit, and create a stamp. Use these instructions to the letter, and if your stamp comes out perfect, then you know your process is correct. So you can then go and get your own artwork and replicate that process. If you then find that you've got problems with your stamps, i.e. that they're solid, that means that basically not enough, that means that either your artwork is not black enough or is letting light through. So there's a couple of things that you would then need to do. You either are going to need to adjust your printer settings, and I've put some guidelines here of what you need to do, and it's basically about printing in black ink only, adjusting your ink volume or density to print in full ink volume, and making sure that you're printing on the right side of the transparency paper. That you should be printing it on the coated side of the film that sticks to your finger. If you lick your finger and touch the paper, your finger will stick to it. So make sure that you're following all of these guidelines here. And also make sure when you're doing the desktop publishing element that you're adjusting the brightness and contrast so that your the black is as black as possible and the white is as white as possible as well on the when you're doing the desktop publishing process. So that's basically if you are having a problem where your stamps are solid. If your stamps are sticky, then there's guidelines here for what you need to do. And here, as I said, you need to leave it under the light, submerged in just a little water for a little bit longer because it hasn't fully cured. So that's another common problem, that the stamp's quite sticky. But the most common problem is this one up here, where you've got a solid artwork with not enough detail, and it is always because your artwork is either not black enough or is letting light through. Another thing that some people do, if you can't get your printer to print black enough, is some people print it out twice and overlay it so that it's not letting the light through. So that's another little tip that you can try. So yeah, everything that you need is, as I said, it's all in here. So if you follow these guidelines to the letter, using this PDF, first of all, follow these instructions to the letter, using Image Pack's artwork first, see how your stamp comes out. If it's come out perfect, you know that you're following the right guidelines and process, then you move on to trying to make your own stamps. If you then have problems, then I want you to come to these troublemaking instructions here, and you know, and you'll probably find it's due to your artwork not being black enough. So I hope that helps. I also hope that my screen did share. We'll find out in a minute. But yeah, I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions though, please do let me know.